Hello, I'm Stephen Fessler along here with
Megan Smythe.
and we are the Charter Tech Drive Your Business podcast. Today's episode is episode 4, part 3, featuring Alison Sload of the Krapf buses from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Krapf school bus company, isn't it?
They do everything.
They do it all.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah. Buses, charters.
She joined us at the PSBA trade show back in June, and we got to talk to her a little bit about the 4 generations of Krapfs that have run that company since 1942.
That's wild, isn't it? Since World War II, they
II.
started this company with 2 buses.
Yeah, and built it up to 2,600. So you can imagine she's got a lot of great stories.
Yep.
She's a race car driver. Did you know that?
That's awesome. I was very shocked to hear that. Very cool.
Race car driver.
Very cool.
And lots of great stories. Some involve animals, cats, dogs, maybe alive, maybe dead.
You don't know. You're going to have to tune in to find out.
Seats flying out of buses, a regular day in
Just
the school
a
bus
regular
world.
day in the school bus industry. You never know what's going to happen, but mostly good days, some bad.
So enjoy. Okay, well, we are moving right along on our 4th episode here of the Charter Tech Drive Your Business podcast.
On this beautiful mountain.
Yeah, this turned out to be a great day, huh?
It is nice. I mean, it's a little windy, but, how else can we fly our kites?
I mean, we've been dealing with, 95-degree weather.
Heat index 105.
Yeah.
Whew. In Philly.
So we were practicing setting all this stuff up
Saturday,
and we tried it. We were doing it in our bus yard to make sure this whole rig, this mobile rig that we have actually worked. But it was hot. We were doing it in that hot sun, and
we're like, anybody need Gatorades? Chug, and it was so hot. 103 index it was on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So we're meeting a lot of great people here at the PSBA trade show in Seven Springs, Pennsylvania, at this wonderful resort.
Yes.
It's a nice ski resort. And we were fortunate enough to have our next guest from Krapf buses. 4th generation.
Well, that's crazy. I can't wait to talk about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alison Sload.
Woo! Yay! Give it up. Thank you, crowd.
Welcome, Alison.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Very exciting. I can't wait to dive into this whole conversation. This is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
So 4 generations.
Yes.
Please tell us when did Krapf start?
1942 with my great grandfather, George Krapf Jr.
During World War II.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. How did it tell us the whole backstory?
Yeah. So a local school district, Downingtown School District, reached out to my great grandfather and said, "Hey, do you want to run a bus? We got a lot of kids. We got to move." And he's like, "I've never driven a bus. I've never worked on one. I've never operated one." But he owned a garage in our community.
Okay.
And was like, "Yeah, sure." And went all the way out to, I don't know exactly where they went, and I should know this, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for not knowing this, but went out and picked up 2 chassis and threw a bus body on them, and we were in business literally like 3 months later. So
oh my gosh.
and haven't stopped. So we went from 2 in 1942 to about 2,600 in 4 states today.
Wow.
2,600.
Yeah.
God,
We have 15, and I hate my life some days. Did you say God love you? Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. Oh man. Like 15, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
2,600.
It's interesting. It's different times. There's a lot of stories of companies getting started like that.
Sure.
In our area, there was Romanos.
Yeah.
And
so the Romanos are very close family friends of ours.
Really?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And from my understanding, my dad worked there, kind of cut his teeth there, and then
Okay.
we're right up the street from them.
What a small world.
And he went up and he bought out the company up the street, which was called Tote Tots at that time.
Okay.
And that's when Superior started in 1982.
Wow.
So 40 years after you guys.
Right. Still impressive. Still very impressive.
Right.
We're only second generation with Steve over here.
Yeah. So
I was just like, I'm coming along.
Yeah.
But you hear some of these stories like Romano's, in my understanding, was a farm.
Yep.
And we also have the Seg bus company near us.
Okay.
They're in their like 90th year, I believe. I
Wow.
just looked up.
Jeez.
I don't know if they're counting that as all school buses or if it starts when they were an auto garage, because that's what they were first.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
a similar story.
Hey, it still counts.
Yeah.
Still operating.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any type of entrepreneurship and running a business is so difficult. So we'll count all of it.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
School buses is way crazier, but any business is tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so.
So I know as a second generation
Mhm.
owner of our company,
Loser.
you know, I was a professional touring musician for many years. I was an aspiring musician. That's just what I always wanted to do, and I had a great career doing it. I just recently got out of it, but I knew when I was a kid, the one thing I wanted nothing to do with was school buses.
Really?
No, I hated going to the bus yard. I was there all the time. My father employed me cleaning the rims
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sweeping out the bus.
Yeah.
I started in second grade.
Okay.
That's what a lot of my summer was.
What was your salary back then?
So
The ice cream at the end.
Ice
right?
cream, I know. And a shower or a
Yeah.
bath.
that would have been
Dinner.
better. That would have been better.
Hosing you off.
Yeah, so I think my dad, he pulled one on me here. I was I was getting $2 a week allowance.
Solid. Solid.
So he came to me, the sales guy that he is, and he goes, "How do you feel about making $2 an hour?" And I said, wow, that's now
It's
I'm
big
making
money.
it an hour.
It's big money.
Yeah. Yeah, I was out in that hot sun cleaning those buses. Your summers are everything when you're a kid.
They are. Yeah.
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 So anyway, I
Tangent.
I wanted nothing to do with it, but then it just kind of, I turned 21 and I got my license, and
Okay.
our last guest was talking about on our last episode about how he's also a musician and he does it as a side hustle, and I did that too for many years because of the flexibility, and just as one opportunity presented another, here we are as the owners,
Mhm.
and I love it now, but it's just, I was just wondering if you ever had a time in your life where you're like, I'm not getting involved in the family business, or did you always know you wanted to do it?
So I graduated college, Penn State. We are. And I was in telecommunications and radio and TV production.
Okay.
And
all right.
I was all about it. I was like, I'm going to be behind the scenes, moving
Uh-huh.
cameras, rolling cables. Like,
She knows more than us with this
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
probably.
No.
I was like, oh no.
Well, look at you now. You're in front of the camera.
Front of the
doing the whole
camera.
thing because I'm
Beautiful
I'm
lady.
not in front of the camera kind of person. But realistically, coming out of school, I got home and thought, okay, I'm going to go work with a local company. That didn't really pan out as I thought. And in the meantime, while I was looking for a job, my family was like, hey, why don't just come to the office, right?
Sure.
We got stuff for you to do. And I'm like, what am I possibly going to do, right?
Mhm.
So your family tricked you into
yeah,
it.
a little bit.
I see a pattern
yeah.
here.
So I cut my teeth at the front desk of our corporate office for about 3 years, and I honestly learned so much.
Yeah.
Just greeting people coming in through the door, and then they couldn't keep me busy enough, so they were like, do this, do that, do this, do that.
Right.
Yeah. And I kind of got to know everybody in the corporate office, which was amazing. The C-suite was very nice to get to know them.
And this was Westchester?
Westchester.
Okay.
Yep. And then I didn't leave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I think this is cool. I get
Yeah.
to see uncles, my dad, my aunt,
Fun.
every day, right? And hang out with them, and it's good most days, and it's
Mhm.
interesting others. But yeah, I couldn't leave at that point. I was sucked in.
There's nothing like being thrust into a business and having to learn everything. That's what happened to us. We're like, oh, we're really smart. Oh my God, I'm not that smart.
No,
I
no.
thought I was I knew everything. I mean, I didn't. I knew I had to learn a lot, but good heavens.
Yeah, it's so much.
I had
There's
no
so
idea
much.
what we were getting into. It was
Yeah.
just, it's so much work. But real life experience, getting involved with business, you really do learn so much. So I understand that perspective, of course.
Yeah.
It's
It's a lot. Yeah, but growing up as a kid, I never really thought it was fun. I loved it. My cousins were always around. We had a pool at the bus garage.
oh man.
We just disappeared into the back lot and flipping over seats, and having all this fun and
That is fun.
setting the lights off. We knew where the keys were, so we playing. We didn't move anything most of the time, but
Whoops.
yeah. So we just had fun. And,
That is
and
really-
it was a really
that's-
like cool environment to grow up in.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is. Are you an only child?
No,
with
I
your...
have a younger brother.
Okay, is he involved as well?
He is. He's
Okay.
our lead tech at one of our garages in True Different Easttown.
Okay.
And
Well, what's
loves
your
it.
actual title?
Operations manager for Westchester Area School District.
Okay.
okay.
Oh, for the whole school district.
Yeah, but I've done a lot.
And that's just the yellow buses
Yep.
that you deal with?
Yes.
And how many are actually in Westchester? Like how many?
103.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
100. How many drivers?
I have 103.
103, okay.
Yeah, we don't have any monitors.
Okay.
So we split with another company in the area. They do all the special needs work.
Oh, that's
so yeah,
good.
we're really just 72s and a couple vans.
Okay.
That's nice. Yeah.
It is a lot to get into. How many do you guys have mechanics on?
Yeah, we have 3 full-time mechanics on site. Yeah, the
Jealous.
garage is right across the street. Wash bay, got the whole thing.
That's great.
Dang.
It's
Yeah.
a great operation.
It is.
I know.
Yeah, it's very nice.
We're like, oh man, we really are jealous.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
you often mention that a lot of your family is involved, and you had mentioned that your husband's also involved.
Yeah, he is. So my husband actually started working for the company for my uncle Dallas, which is my great uncle, hired my husband when he was 16 and he worked in the wash bay and was basically like, you have to work your way up. And he never went to college. Right out of high school, came and worked for Krapf, right in our Glenmore location, which is 2 minutes from my house, and worked his way up. And now he's the VP of operations for Krapf Transportation. So everything that's not yellow, he runs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, for Superior, our bus company, we used to call Krapf all the time for the charter buses or coach buses. They're called, I guess.
Yeah.
So we would like send a lot of our schools if they were looking to go to New York City or something. We're like, you don't want to go on a school bus.
Right.
Trust
Too
us.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Way too hot. Too long.
Nasty, yeah.
We have to stop every 20 minutes to use the bathroom. So we would always call Krapf for your coach buses as well. It's just seems like an amazing operation you guys have there.
Yeah, so we're a little bit smaller than we were. We started back in 82, and we had about 35 motor coaches back then. And my dad actually ran the motor coach division, and then kind of downsized over the years, right? The industry kind of changed.
Has it?
Yeah, a little bit. We kind of got out of it, not fully, but just kind of downsized.
Okay.
And
How many do you guys have now?
15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How has that changed? I mean, not that we're, coach
less
people, but...
honestly, we did a lot of runs to Atlantic City. So we did line runs. We did a lot of line runs to the casinos. So now that you can gamble online, we have Valley Forge, we have Morgantown.
Mhm.
We've kind of cut back on that, the amount of people that want to go elderly, that want to go travel.
Yeah.
Right? And there's not a lot of people that want to sit on a motor coach for 10, 12 hours a day, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and do those big trips. So it's kind of just shifted, right?
Okay.
And we gotten into the transit work down in Philly. So yeah, it's
okay.
good.
All right. I can understand because I remember a lot of people would be like, oh, you should run trips to AC or, just doing the casino trips.
Yeah.
We're like, no.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
So many more regulations and just bigger buses, more expensive.
Yeah.
Are they? Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure that you just even run them. It must
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah.
But our Gina, our transportation manager, she's like, I've never been on a coach bus before. We're like, oh, they're
Really?
so luxurious.
They are. They have bathrooms and air conditioning. It's great.
Yeah. And like carpeted
Yes.
like seats. Like
They're
it's
comfy. They recline. You have cup holders.
Yeah.
There's chargers now. It's
usually
great.
there's a step stool parts
Yep,
too.
yep.
I traveled on so many coach buses for sports. I was just like,
Sure.
oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Comfy.
Yeah, very as opposed to a school bus.
Yeah.
So you kind of answered this, but I was wondering, with your husband involved, I was wondering, did you bring him in as your husband? Or
Oh,
you
no,
said,
no.
You said he was 16.
Long before
You
me.
guys met
Yeah.
there. No wonder you were hanging out at the bus
So
yard all the
you were
time.
looking over at the wash bay.
Yeah.
Like,
No, actually, no joke. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I'm gonna be at the pool today.
Yeah, so my he's actually 12 years older than me.
Uh-huh.
So one summer right out of high school, a friend of mine, and her mom also works in the business, Beverly Peppernick. She's our like head trainer, and she's the best there is.
Nice.
So her daughter Megan and I started the same summer working, and we were just peeling decals and labeling buses and washing buses and doing all this running around, right? That's back when you had to put the little stickers on the license plates for the
Yeah.
registration,
Oh, yeah,
right?
for
We
sure.
did that, right? And 1,000 buses, that's a lot to do.
Yeah.
So we actually were driving around the shop in this golf cart, and like we would go past my husband, Buddy, his bay, right? And we're like, hey, right? And we actually both ended up marrying the 2 guys that we met that summer at the
Wow.
shop. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's nothing but love over
Right?
at Krapf's,
Nothing but
right?
love.
Listen
Yeah.
up, children. Maybe you should start hanging out the bus.
Yeah, love and school buses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can meet your future husband.
Future husband,
Yeah.
wife. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
Hanging
never
out,
know.
hanging out the bus depot.
Never know.
That's great.
I noticed you got a school bus on your
I do.
necklace
Necklace.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. These are my kids. All my diamonds are here.
Yeah?
Oh my
Yeah.
god. How many kids?
No, I'm kidding. I don't have
Oh.
any kids. That's the whole joke. No kids for me. So dogs.
Well,
is
you
it.
have 103 kids.
I do.
We always
every
say
day.
too.
Every day I do. Yeah. So this is actually my grandmother. So she passed in
Oh.
2002. And I was only 12 at the time. And my grandfather, when I got married, he came over and said, you're something old, and gave
Aw.
me my grandmother's school bus.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's
So
really
kinda-
cool that she had that too.
Yeah, so she was a school bus driver for really her whole life. And actually her school bus number was 39. And fun fact, I race cars. So my car number is actually 39 because she drove bus 39.
Oh,
nice.
that's so cool. You drive race cars?
Yeah, on the side.
Tell us more.
Yeah, when I'm not driving something yellow. I'm behind the wheel of a, it's called a super modified, and I race in New York.
Okay.
It's like an open wheel, kind of looks like an Indy car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been doing it since I was 7.
What?
Yeah.
Right.
Not that type of car, but go-karts, and then
Right.
kind of work my way up. Yeah, and
Ooh.
I mean, I was
Yeah,
driving
it's a lot of fun.
lawnmower,
yeah,
a riding lawnmower at 7, but not
yeah,
a race car.
go-karts, and then 3/4 midgets, and now super modifieds. Yeah.
Wow. So when you're not driving a slow giant school bus with governors on them,
Yes,
you are a speed racer.
I am. And you tell all the kids that, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so cool! We have a race car driver as our bus driver." Right?
That is.
I'm like, guys, be careful. I don't speed, right? No
Yeah.
speeding. No speeding. Can't get out of control here. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
do you build them yourselves? Like how?
No, so I actually drive for somebody in
Oh,
New York. Yeah,
okay.
so I basically just show up with my stuff and get in and
Are they
drive.
circles? Like
yeah,
you go in circles?
oval. Yeah,
Okay.
oval asphalt.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
I was like, I mean, I don't really know anything about car racing except for circles
right. Yep.
or what's the
Drag
one?
strip.
Oh,
Straight-
drag
straight
No, I didn't even
line,
think
yeah.
about that. What's the one in like Monaco where everybody gets like dressed
yeah,
up
yeah.
like the Kentucky
Yes.
Derby?
Yeah, very fancy IndyCar.
Indy.
Or Formula One.
Formula One, that's
Yeah.
it. I was like, I know that there's some fancy name for it, and yeah, that's really fun. So just because you love driving, I guess it's just,
Love it.
that's-
Love it.
Wow.
Love
I'm like,
driving.
I hate driving. I don't want to do it ever. No, I don't mind it, but I don't have a school bus license. I just have a regular car license.
Okay.
You were saying that, most days are great. Some days aren't. Running a school bus company. You got any stories up your sleeve? So I know that when people ask me this, I just go blank because there's so many.
Well,
of them.
there's so many, and I always say every day I learn something new.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's from a student or it's from a driver,
Uh-huh.
I'm always learning something new. So the one that really stands out in my mind, and it wasn't me, I did not experience this, but one of our drivers at another location experienced this. She was driving a van run, and little kid, kindergartner, got in the bus, and she was like, she saw him kind of fumbling with something out of his backpack, and he holds up this cat on the bus, and he's like, "Oh, Miss Teresa, look, here's this cat," and she goes, "Oh, is it alive?" And he's like, "I don't think so."
Oh,
Yeah. So this student brought a
shocks across our fans here.
a dead cat on the bus. Felt so bad for him because he didn't really know, right? And he was kind of like, "Help!" But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
so that's like a really weird one.
That is.
Really weird. Yeah. So you can never be surprised by things that happen on the school bus because
Well,
you never know.
We heard of when a driver told us a story once about she brought a smaller puppy, or somebody had a smaller puppy, or I don't know, small dog on the bus, and they forgot to take it off, and somebody went to step on the brake or something, and all of a sudden this dog came out of nowhere. Right? Do you remember that story?
Nope.
Was it just a small dog that somebody forgot to take with them? Super weird.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me driving?
I was trying not to say it was one of our drivers. I was trying to make it about another company.
Somebody else.
That was me.
Secrets.
I was trying to say it was Krapf.
Oh yeah, right. I would love to bring my dogs on the bus, but not allowed. Yeah,
we bring our
really
my
fun.
dog on the bus, but he's huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
His
So
his head would be right here.
Yeah.
there was a mechanical problem with the bus, so I brought out a replacement bus.
Okay.
And brought that bus back, and the driver had left her little dog on the bus. And the way I
Aw.
found
Like a little teacup.
the way I found out was all of a sudden it was under my pedals. Yeah.
I was really trying to not make it about us.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I was like, how can I make this about someone? You mean me? You mean when I was
Yeah,
driving?
I knew what you were doing.
Yeah. But there's so many others. My husband always tells one story where he was driving, mechanic, right, got pulled to drive a bus, and not so great run out of one of the districts that we service, and the kids took advantage of him being a sub driver for the day, right?
Oh.
And they were throwing seat bottoms out of the seats, right, to distract him from the fact that they were all jumping out of the back of the bus while it was moving.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that has happened.
I mean, I hope
And
the
he was
school
like,
district got involved.
hey, they got off. What do you want me to do? I can't scoop them all back up, right? Got back to the yard, and he was like, I'm empty. Like, what do you want me to do? And then you get all the phone calls, like, why'd you let them all off? And he's like, I didn't. They just exited the bus by themselves. So
I'm totally empty.
Yeah.
I don't even have seats.
I don't have to I don't have to go to any stops. We're done. Easiest bus run ever. Yeah.
No post-trip inspection,
No,
basically?
no,
Like,
done. Cake. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope the school district got involved
Yes,
with
yes.
that one, man.
That was a long time ago, though.
So
Very long time ago.
part of the inspiration of doing this podcast is that we would come to these trade shows and we realized there's a lot of stories out there. You know, we don't have to just tell them at the happy hour. Let's talk about
Right.
it on air, you know, and
That's
make
so
a
cool.
show out of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much like news, and obviously that there's another podcast that does that great. And, you know, we like to do the news and information that's very helpful to other companies, but this part's just fun for us of like,
Totally.
oh my gosh, we're not the only ones who've
No, oh my
experienced
God.
stupidity amongst everything.
Large and small, we all got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many like hours and hours of footage I'm sure that we could get from here. So yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy industry that we have.
It is.
Safety is obviously always the number one priority, but then we get to have these fun outlets where we can just like, oh my gosh.
Sure. Yeah. So much fun.
Mm-hmm. So we just got a bus recently, a used bus, and it was one of your buses.
Really?
Because it still has the Krapf
Is that a good thing?
mud flaps on it.
Oh, does it really?
I'm gonna leave them on there.
Okay, cool. All right.
Call Krapf if you have any problems.
Yeah, you don't like this driver? Call them.
We put on your number and everything. Call Krapf with your issues.
Yeah, there you go. It's good stuff.
Well, we got it from like a used dealer, and we're like, all right, let's just cut to the chase and go straight to Krapf next time. Like, just sell us your buses.
We do, yeah.
Because it's a great bus. It's very well taken care of and everything. It's just we're always, you know, I don't know what your guys' situation is with having to buy buses, but we always need to buy new buses, get new drivers, and we're just growing constantly. So we're just always looking for buses. So it's just
and they're tough to find now too.
They are.
Yeah.
Come on, except here, I guess there's.
That's
we got plenty of them out here.
Yeah, so we went to a used dealership and they get them from New York and Delaware and
Canada
Jersey.
Auction.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The ones that came from Delaware were pretty much destroyed.
And
Really?
Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, right? That was a
Oh,
big
Brooklyn
yeah.
wasn't quite as bad as
But Delaware.
Like she actually
Really?
made a comment that it looked like Wolverine went through them because like every seat's just ripped.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then you
Yikes.
get into buses that are from Pennsylvania and
they're
you know
perfect.
they're ready to go,
We just have like way higher standards, I guess, in PA. Like seriously,
or
everywhere.
at least with inspections. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. With
Maybe we
inspections,
just
that's a big thing.
care. We
Yeah.
care more about, but
Yeah.
it's just the Delaware buses, the New York buses. They were just full of holes in all the seats.
New York's tough because you have salt.
Yeah, that too underneath.
Salt
But the
and brine and all
inside,
that.
the inside was a mess, and they just put duct tape over it.
Oh.
And that's not apparently that's fine for their
Cool.
state police inspections.
All
And
right.
we're like, oh man, we got to replace all of these
Yep,
seats.
yep.
We've got
We've had
standards.
We've had some issues with our buses with the brine.
Yeah,
salt.
sure. Yeah.
You know,
Eats 'em up.
we're learning that the hard way because I guess correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like brine is something that they've just started doing.
Mhm.
You know, I remember just being salt when I was young.
Right.
And
Or
now,
sand.
And now
Yeah.
we have the you know the undercarriage will will rot out.
Yeah.
And we've had buses where
Rust.
we go to get them inspected, and the mechanic is like, "This, I can't pass this."
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
too
the
unsafe.
bus runs great, looks great inside. You don't realize that the undercarriage is
Right.
rotting away. So
Yeah.
I know there's companies here that have solutions. They come on
Yeah.
spray
Undercoating.
underneath, and
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's a
she knows all the
Yeah.
official
well,
terms.
it's-
We're like, there's a spray for the rust on the undercarriage.
Undercoating. Yep. As soon as you buy them, spray them.
Really?
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
yeah,
Yep.
See, we're learning
Preventative maintenance.
yeah,
today. We're learning today too.
Spray your undercarriage,
Yeah.
kids.
That's right. Exactly.
Oh, funny. Well,
All right, Alison. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
being a guest on our show.
Yeah.
We hope you had fun.
super fun.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure as soon as we stop rolling, we'll think of a bunch of other stories we could
Yeah.
have told. And
Yeah.
hey, you can always come back on. We're going to be doing this for a while, and
Okay.
and we'll tell more stories.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Everybody has so many.
Yeah.
Everybody, Alison Sload!
Oh, thank you.
Krapf School Bus Company.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a guest. Thank you,
Yeah.
Krapf. Okay.
And go.
Hello.